Alright, on my last episode, I advise you to trust your gut when you're picking a movie, and then to avoid not listen to the critics whatsoever. So, what happened there was I received a lot of DMs from people defending the critics, and as expected, I received a lot of responses where the arguments that were made included, which were something to the effect that I'm allergic to criticism and don't take criticism, and the critics are just expressing their opinion and yada yada yada, a whole bunch of things. So what I'm going to do today is I am just going to ask the question, is the quality of criticism for both screenplay readers and film reviews, is that down the crapper, or has that gone downhill? And that is the topic for this episode of the Story Dude Show. Welcome, story lovers, to the Story Dude Show with your host Jared Dean Winchester, and let's get right into it. Has film criticism and screenplay critique gone downhill? Well, that depends on the critic. But I can tell you, the overwhelming majority of the criticism that you receive, and I can guarantee this, has been extremely subjective and opinionated. And I'll use my case as an example, because when I went and submitted my work for critique, instead of me just accepting the critique, what I started to do is analyze the feedback that I received. And a few things kind of stood out, rather few words kind of stood out. What happened was the critics, or the screenplay reader in particular, was using words like unrealistic and not believable. Those are the two major ones. And comparing the elements of a film or a story to reality, which doesn't really, not that best way to analyze a screenplay, because a screenplay or a movie is make-believe. It is not real, so the criticism of that it's not realistic fails big time. Also, I found that there's a lot of opinionated stuff going on around, and if you were to challenge a film critic or a screenplay reader on why they believe X, Y, and Z, or why they believe something is realistic, or why they believe that it's not believable, and if they don't give you a solid answer, then that's your answer. That person is a bad critic, because if the person that you have questioned gives you a lot of criticism, but when you question them, they back it up, they tell you why they believe this, and they tell you how to improve your work instead of just leaving you to figure it out, that is a great critic. Now, I did post a video where I talked about the differences between a good critic, a great critic, and a really bad critic. I'll put that episode linked to this one, so be sure to check it out. So, with that being said, this is Jared Dean Winchester, also known as the Story Dude. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, don't forget to turn that page.